Hey guys, this is Nathan Pennington from RunDreamAchieve.com. Today's video, I kind of just wanted to just give you some feedback on how to achieve peak fitness. What do you need to do in your training to reach that level of perfection? And I don't necessarily believe that any of us can really achieve perfection in our performances, but we can definitely seek it out. We can definitely do the right things in training to get to the race and achieve that flow state, where everything just kind of is smooth and you're not struggling. It's very normal to feel tired and fatigued at the end of a long race, whether it be a 10K or a half marathon or a marathon. It's normal to feel that way in the last few miles of the race, but you never want to feel taxed and fatigued, 5 miles into a marathon or 3 miles into a marathon. And I remember I've had a couple times in my career so far where I was really having a hard time that early in the race, and that's a very bad sign. But you also have to achieve peak fitness. You have to go through those failures until you get to success. This is not a sport that every day is perfect. You have to understand first and foremost, this is a long-term process. It's not a short-term process. Um, you know, if you look on the website RunDreamAchieve.com, you can go to my about page and you can see each race that I ran, and all the way up to about 2016. I kind of semi-retired in 2017 after the Army 10 mile. There was a runner that I was running next to that passed out, pretty much passed out, and we had to stop and render him aid, and we got medics to him, and then I kind of jogged into the finish, and I kind of felt like after that I was like, not. I think I've done just about everything I wanted to do in the sport, and now I want to kind of take over, coaching and online consulting. But now that my nephew's running this year's Army 10 mile, I'm kind of getting that itch a little bit to get back out there and maybe run another marathon. I've seen a lot of athletes that are my age. I'm currently 42, who've run faster than I've run for the marathon. My current PR is 2:19:35, and just recently the world record was set for masters runners. A guy from Kenya, I don't know his name, but he ran a 2 hour, 7 minute, 50-second marathon. It's extremely fast. It's about 4:49, 4:52 pace for the per mile for the marathon. So there's always those goals. We all have them. But to achieve peak fitness, you have to, and I'm stating this based on my past experiences in the sport and what I had to do to get to a high level in this sport. You have to have absolute persistence. You got to be white hot, razor sharp focused on what you're doing, and you cannot lose the enthusiasm to achieve peak fitness. Whether it's you're a middle distance runner and you're focusing on running the mile or improving your mile time, or you're focused on the marathon distance and you're more long distance based. The biggest difference between average and great is that enthusiasm. You cannot lose it, despite all the ebbs and flows and the ups and downs that we have in training. And you have to train properly. If you have a specific timing goal, you have to train at that specific pace. You have to get used to what does it feel like to run for long periods of time at a higher heart rate, and so it gets to a point where your goal race pace feels more comfortable. I've spoken with clients that I work with and people online that email me, that have asked me how did you go from a 2:43 marathon to running a 2:19 marathon. And obviously it's a huge jump. It's a huge physiological, psychological jump. But there were a lot of indicators that I had leading into that peak performance, that peak fitness state that I was in that day when I ran that. I ran a 51-minute 10-mile time. I ran a 1:07:06 half marathon. And those were kind of indicators showing me that I could do it. And whatever it is your specific goal is, look at the positives. Look at the things that you've done in training or the races that you've run that give you that indication that, hey, I've run this specific time. It equates to this time. And what are the necessary changes that I have to make in training to make my, that long-term crazy out there goal a reality. And that's how you achieve it. You have to be just razor sharp, zeroed in on that goal that you want, and you'll achieve it. But also expect that it's not going to happen overnight. This is not distance running, as you already know. It takes a lot of work. It's time consuming, and you have to prioritize your day. Dr. Joe Vigil, one of the world's greatest exercise physiologists, one of my mentors, and over the years, he said, there's 24 hours in a day. If your coach or somebody that you're training with asks you to train 2 times a day, train 2 times a day. You got to compartmentalize your day to be able to fit all the things that you need to do to achieve that that peak performance, that peak fitness that you're seeking out. There's got to be a hunger and drive in what you're doing to make that big jump. And if you're just going after easy goals, that's fantastic too. I mean, if you're setting goals and you're writing them down, once you write them down, you own them. It's up to you now to make the difference, and to get out there every day and put in the work. But they're not going to get handed to you. And just like nothing was handed to me either. I'll tell you right now, I'm being blunt and honest as I can be, I don't have any talent. I never did. My brother talked me into running track and field. Never had a lot of leg speed, but I was able to improve slightly in high school. Started off running the mile. The first time I ever ran it, I ran 5:30, and by the time I graduated high school, I ran 4:25 for the mile and 4:02 for 1,500 meters, which equates to around a 4:19, 4:20 mile. So, overall leg speed, I had decent speed, but nothing out of the ordinary. What was out of the ordinary, and having trained for years over the years, it was just that tenacity, just getting out, regardless if it was snowing, sleeting, blizzards, sandstorms. Even when I was in Kuwait in 03, deployed to Kuwait when the war started, and I was running around the base, training for the Army 10 miler back in 03. So you have to fully commit, and I think that is the most important piece of advice I can give you if you're really searching out peak fitness and what does it take, and hearing it from somebody that has personally I've done a few things in the sport. I'm nothing, I'm not the elite of the elite, but I have enough experience and expertise that I can definitely share with you, and hopefully some of it helps you out. For some people that hearing it from somebody that's broke a 2:20 marathon might feel that's important. But at the same time, total beginners can teach you something. They can teach me something. I still listen to the athletes, regardless of what they're currently running, what they've done. Total beginners can teach you something. So definitely keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, and read up as much as you can. But as far as peak fitness, just on you, if you truly want it, if you're willing to put in the work and you're razor sharp in your focus, there is no reason why you can't achieve that type of state in a race. The problem is, and I wish that it was easier to duplicate a peak fitness performance every single time you went out and you raced. It's very, very difficult to do that, but also know that there's just something about the challenge of getting ready for a race and finally achieving that long-term goal that you've really been envisioning and really focusing on for a long period of time. So, hey, get out there, put in the work, get excited. Don't lose the enthusiasm for, because a lot of folks, it's understandable. I mean, it took me 18 years, basically, 15 years to break 2:20 for the marathon. And there were a lot of trials through there, and a lot of times that I even had a few times where I kind of wondered if I was ever going to get the marathon right. I had run 31:06 or 31:09 for 10K, and 1:07:06 for the half. When I ran 1:07:06, I actually also PR'd for 10 miles. I hit the 10-mile mark in 50:54 en route to that half marathon in Philadelphia. But the marathon, I was like, I ran 2:43. It's a strong time, but I still had those goals. For me personally, it was to break 2 hours and 22 minutes. That was that peak fitness that I was seeking out, and I kept writing down, what do I need to do, how do I need to train, what mistakes am I making, and what do I need to improve upon that. And I sought out experts. I was fortunate to be around those types of mentors that told me, hey, you have, Dr. Joe Vigil, he signed his book Road to the Top. If you haven't gotten it, definitely check it out. And in his book, he wrote, he signed it, and he said, Nate, you have way more, you're way faster. What do you say? You can run way faster than 2:15 is what he wrote in the book, and 2:15 for the marathon. So it still inspires me. I mean, is it impossible for me at 42 to go out and run a faster than a 2:19:35? I think it is, but it's going after what you're doing, what you really want to do, and giving it your honest effort. If you're kind of half-assing it and you're not really all in and you're not fully committed, then that's different. Because it's one thing to seek out manageable goals, easy goals, but it's another thing to get out to really kind of get outside the lines and think outside the box and kind of go after something that's kind of what is termed unrealistic or a little over the top. You kind of want to continue to really push yourself mentally, physically, and that mental piece is huge. Let me tell you, it's very, very big. You have to continually visualize yourself, seeing yourself achieving that in your mind first and foremost before it's ever going to become reality. That's so important. Um, every single day when I was training to break 2:22, I was seeing myself coming across the finish line in 2:21:59 or faster, seeing that time on the clock, and I was putting in the work. So whatever you're doing, definitely visualize yourself, whatever it is, whatever specific goal that you have in mind, visualize yourself doing it daily. Make that a part of your routine. Don't just go out and do the physical training, because everybody's really good at that. Anybody can go out and do a track workout, or can go out and jog easy, or can do a long run, but it's the physiological, the mindset piece that oftentimes gets overlooked, and that's critical. All the best coaches I've ever worked with, all the best athletes I've ever trained with, and got my rear end destroyed by in training, and was able to push them as well. All had that mentality that, hey, I'm putting in the work physically, but I'm also training my mind, and I'm seeing that perfect peak fitness performance in my mind's eye first. So I'm mixing it all up. Definitely do the training, but definitely also train mentally. So hope this video has been helpful for you. Leave a comment if you have a question. I would definitely love to answer that for you, or make a video about your specific question as well. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, or share the channel with somebody else that you know, or somebody that's either interested in running, or either has a weight issue and is trying to lose the weight and get more involved in running, that might enjoy listening to some of this feedback. I mean, this is new to me. I've had RunDreamAchieve.com since 2011, and just recently, December of 2018, I started this channel. So I wanted to start making videos that are really helpful to you, and hopefully, as time progresses, I'll continue to make the videos that will really help you maximize your goals, regardless of what capability you are, whether you're a total beginner or you're elite level or advanced. That's something I truly want to do. So with that, hopefully this video on peak fitness has been helpful, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.